Hello, students. I hope you all are fine and you all must be doing great. Today, we'll be discussing Civics chapter number 1, that is the Indian legislature, and we'll be discussing part 2 of this chapter. And part 1 of this chapter is already being discussed with you in your previous presentation. And in this chapter, we'll be discussing how the legislature works. The legislature has to meet at least twice a year, and each session of the parliament is summoned and it is closed by the President of India. The meetings of a state legislature are summoned and closed by the governor of the respective states. Specific time periods like the question hour, 0 hour, etc. are fixed for carrying out different functions. Students, as I already told you, that specific time periods like question hour, 0 hour, etc. are fixed for carrying out different functions of the parliament as well as for the state legislatures. So now we'll be discussing what is question hour and what is 0 hour. So first we'll be discussing about question hour. So usually the legislature begins its day work with question hour. This means whenever the parliament or the legislature will start, there will be a question hour. The members send questions in advance to the various ministers who give their replies during this hour. You could say it is a kind of query hour in which the ministers have to give replies to the questions which are being asked from them. Debates over the minister's replies often help reveal mistakes of the government. Now, the 0 hour. During the 0 hour, the members of the legislature hold debates on issues of public interest. Further, we'll be discussing ordinances. Now, I'll be telling you what is an ordinance. Whenever there is an urgent need to pass a law, but the parliament is not in session. See, I told you twice a year a parliament has to hold its session. In case if there is a urgent need to pass a law and that time the parliament is not in session, in that situation the president may issue an ordinance, that is called an order carrying the effect of a law. However, if the parliament after reassembling does not declare it to be valid, the parliament assembles and it finds that this is not valid, that too within 6 weeks, the ordinance becomes invalid. The governor of a state can issue ordinances when the state legislature is not in session. Just like the parliament, the state legislature, in that case, the governor has to issue an ordinance when the state legislature is not in session. Such an ordinance ceases to have effect unless the state legislature after reassembling declares it to be valid within 6 weeks. Students, now we'll be discussing the chief function of the legislature. So the main function of the legislature is to make laws. A proposal for a new law or for a change in an existing law, that is called an amendment, is called a bill. And a bill can be either an ordinary bill or a money bill. Now I'll tell you what is an ordinary bill and what is a money bill. A bill which deals with the income and expenditure of the government is called the money bill. Other bills are called the ordinary bills. An ordinary bill can be introduced in any house of the legislature. This means either in the upper house or in the lower house. The bill is discussed and debated in 3 stages. After this, if the majority of the members present vote for the bill, if they says, okay, yes, we agree with this bill, then it is passed. In a bicameral legislature, a bill passed by one house is sent to the other house. Bicameral means which have 2 houses. So it will be passed in one house and then it will be sent to the other house. There it goes through a similar process. A bill passed by both the houses of the parliament is sent to the president for its signature, or in case of state legislature, it is sent to a governor. In a unicameral legislature, a bill passed by the legislative assembly is directly sent to the governor. When the president or the governor signs the bill, it becomes a law. The president or the governor can return it after giving suggestions for further amendments. The legislature then returns the bill to him after accepting or rejecting his suggestions. This means it is up to the legislature whether to accept the suggestions or to reject the suggestions. And once the bill is so returned, he has to sign it. This means he has no option to reject it. The president or the governor has to sign the bill as it is being sent to him. Now, a money bill can be introduced only in the lower house. If it is passed, it goes to the upper house. The upper house, after receiving the bill, must return it within 14 days. Okay, so when it is sent to the upper house, the upper house has to send it within 14 days. The upper house may suggest changes, but even if the lower house does not accept the changes, the bill is sent to the president or the governor, as the case may be. Maybe as it is, or maybe further considering the changes given by the upper house. When the president or a governor receives a money bill, he has to sign it. Now next we will be discussing division of law making powers. India's constitution specifies the subjects on which the laws can be made by the center or by the state. The subjects are placed in 3 lists. First one is the union list, second is the state list, and the third one is the concurrent list. The central legislature makes laws on subjects mentioned in the union list. So the central legislature will make laws that are mentioned in the union list. These subjects are of national importance, like defense, foreign relations, citizenship, shipping, railway, airways, banking, post and telegraph. Now, the state legislature makes laws on the subjects that is mentioned in the state lists, and these subjects are affected by regional conditions. Law and order, police, public health, agriculture and land revenue are a few examples. Now, both center and state can make laws on subjects mentioned in the concurrent lists. Now, what are these subjects? It includes marriage and divorce, education, electricity, factories and newspapers. The central legislature enjoys residuary powers. This means it alone can make laws on subjects that are not mentioned in any above lists. So students, next we are going to discuss control over government's finance. Children, every year the government places its budget, which means the annual financial statement which a government places before the legislature. Now the budget shows in detail the expected income of the government, what is the expected income of the government and how it has to be spent. In addition to the budget, a finance bill is also introduced. And what does it contain? It contains the proposals for new taxes and the changes in the existing taxes to meet the government's expenditure, and these proposals have to be approved by the legislature. In case if it is not approved, if there is a failure in the approval, the government has to resign in that case. Now, the next function of the legislature is to have control over ministers. The members of the legislature have the right to debate and criticize the actions of the government. They have the right to question the ministers about the policies of the government. It is not like that, the government has made the policies, it is not answerable to anyone. No, it's not like that. The ministers have the right to cross-question them. If the ministers fail to give satisfactory answers to the questions, the lower house may pass a vote of no confidence against them, and in that case, the government has to resign. Thus, legislature exercises control over the government's income and expenditure. The legislature can question ministers about government policies. If the ministers fail to give satisfactory answers, the government may have to resign following a vote of no confidence by the House. The Indian legislature works on democratic principles. Students, now will be discussing the importance of legislature. In a democratic country, there is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And India is a democratic country. Therefore, the Indian people have a say in making laws that govern them. The Indian people from their own legislature by electing suitable representative from among themselves, and after completing one term in office, a member of the legislature must again get the people's vote in order to serve another term. For example, I told you there is a procedure of voting in which the ones who are above 18 years of age, they can cast their vote to choose their representatives, and these are the ones who further represent the public, the Indian public. And after completing one term in office, say after completing 5 years, again there will be process of voting, and again they need to get people's vote in order to serve another term. Hence, the people can change a government that cannot satisfy them. In case if we feel that okay, this government has completed its tenure, but their work is not satisfactory and they are not fulfilling our demands, in that case people can change the government and there are no permanent rulers. Long debates and discussions during the making of a law prevent hasty decisions. Media such as newspapers, radio and TV keep the people informed of the actions of the legislature. People can also exercise their views through such media. The government is answerable to the people's representative in the legislature, the ones whom we have chosen. The government runs on the revenue collected as taxes from the people. Therefore, the people's representatives in the legislature exercise control over the government's income and expenses.